Hey, friend, welcome back to Caffeine and Clarity. Thank you for stopping by. Have a seat, grab your cup. Today, I want to talk about something that shows up everywhere this time of year, something that feels almost expected: New Year's resolutions. And I want to tell you, I'm not making any this year. Not because I don't care about growth, not because I've checked out or stopped believing in myself, but because of something I've been learning in the course of the last few years, but only recently struck me about how change actually works. What can I say? I can be a slow learner sometimes. If you've ever felt pressure, guilt, or quiet shame wrapped up in the words New Year, New You, this conversation is for you. So, why am I stepping away from resolutions? I've made resolutions like everyone else: list, goals, promises to myself. And on the surface, it all sounded right, like declarations: to eat better, to work out more, be more disciplined, quit that job, get it together. But underneath, a lot of those resolutions came from pressure, from comparison, from the idea that January 1st was some magical reset button and December 31st was proof that I somehow fell short. And the truth is, I don't want to start a new year by telling myself I'm a problem that needs fixing. I don't want my first conversation with myself to be harsh or rushed or fueled by fear by staying the same. Because I've learned real change doesn't happen because of a calendar flip. It happens because something inside you notices discomfort, notices misalignment, notices when something no longer fits. And that kind of noticing doesn't follow a date. Here's something I've noticed about New Year's resolutions. They're often born from force instead of curiosity, from urgency instead of understanding. And I want to slow down for a moment because these words can sound very abstract until you really feel them. When I say resolutions are often born from force, this is what force sounds like in my head. I have to change. I should be better by now. I can't keep doing this. It's pressure. It's clenched. At least it feels clenched. It's that tight feeling in your chest that comes from frustration with yourself. Force doesn't ask questions, it makes demands. Curiosity, on the other hand, sounds much softer. Curiosity asks, why am I feeling this way? What does my body actually need right now? What's underneath this habit? Curiosity doesn't rush you, it listens. And when I say urgency instead of understanding, I'm talking about that quiet panic that shows up at the start of a new year. That feeling that time is running out. Like if we don't fix everything now, we've somehow failed. Urgency sounds like start Monday, don't mess this up, make this the year. There's pressure in that. There's fear in that. But understanding sounds very, very different. Understanding sounds like, of course I'm tired. I've been carrying a lot. Of course this feels hard. Nothing about this season has been simple. Of course I adapted this way. It helped me survive. Understanding gives context, and context creates compassion. And here's the thing: change that comes from force and urgency rarely lasts. It's exhausting. It asks you to override yourself instead of caring for yourself. But change that comes from curiosity and understanding, that kind of change, that change sticks because it's rooted in truth, not shame. So if I'm not making resolutions, what am I doing? I'm choosing awareness. I'm choosing presence. I'm choosing to notice. Notice how my body responds to certain days. Notice what drains me. Notice what quietly restores me. And that can change day to day, week to week, month to month. I'm letting change be responsive instead of reactive. If something feels misaligned, I adjust. If I'm tired, I rest without making it mean something about my worth. If I feel inspired, I follow that energy instead of questioning it. This year isn't about an overhaul. It's about honesty, about responding to life as it unfolds instead of trying to control it from a checklist. Let me invite you into this moment with me. You don't have to decide anything today. You don't have to promise anything. You don't have to reinvent yourself. You just have to gently ask yourself, what am I craving more of lately? What feels like it's quietly asking to be released? Where am I forcing when I could be listening? There's no right answer here, just information. And information, when handled with care, becomes clarity. Maybe the goal this year isn't to become better. Maybe it's to become more present. And doesn't that make you better anyway? Better at noticing what's right in front of you? Better at listening? Better with the people you're with? Maybe it's about softening where you've been bracing. Trusting that you don't need a dramatic reset to grow. You're allowed to evolve slowly. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to begin again whenever it makes sense, as many times as you need, not just because the calendar says so. Maybe this year isn't about doing more or less. Maybe it's about noticing what's already working and giving yourself credit for surviving, learning, and staying open. Or noticing what isn't working and adjusting slowly, gently, in a way that actually lasts. Before we close, I want to open the door for conversation because this space is meant to be shared. If this episode resonated with you, I love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, are you making resolutions this year or choosing something different? No judgment, no fixing, just honesty. Because clarity grows faster when we don't feel alone in it. Here's your sip of the day. Any day is a good day to make a slow shift. Let that be your intention. Presence before pressure. Thank you for sitting with me today. Thank you for choosing reflection over rush. Until next time, stay gentle with yourself and keep choosing clarity one sip at a time.